Okay, so hi students. Today we are going to discuss about the air pollution. Already we have discussed the first lecture of the air pollution and control. Already you know that air pollution and control, which is our model 2, and lecture is 8. So the subject name is environmental science and the subject code is MC301 or 401. The contact hour is 24. These are the some of the course objective that we have for our course. That is, you can understand the natural environment and its relationship with the human activities. Also, you can apply the fundamental knowledge of science and engineering to assess the environmental as well as the health risk. You can understand the environmental laws and regulations to develop guidelines and procedures for health and safety issues. And some of them also you can acquire the skill to solve some of the problems which is related to land pollution, air pollution, water pollution and the sound pollution. Excuse me. So these are the some of the course outcome that we have. We can, after this course, finishing of this course, you can understand the natural environment and its relationship. You can apply the fundamental knowledge of science and engineering. You can develop a guideline and procedure to solve some of the problem, and also you can acquire the skills of scientific to solve the scientific problems. Okay, so these are the lecture plan for the air pollution. Now, our topic is greenhouse effect. Today we will discuss about the global warming, and also we will see what are the cause and effects of the global warming and the greenhouse effects, and how we can solve that problem, how we can sort out the problem of global warming, which is very renowned today. Okay, so these are the some of the objectives of our today's class. Now, these are the topics already we have discussed. This is just at a glance whatever we have discussed in our previous class. I'm just telling you, repeating the topics, that is components of environment, air pollution, classification of air pollutant, and some of the biochemical effects of that air pollutants also we have seen. So this is the component of environment. As we know that environmental component can be divided into two groups. One is abiotic and one is biotic. Biotic components, that means the living system, which is again of two types, that is plant kingdom and animal kingdom. And for the abiotic components, we have lithosphere, hydrosphere and the atmosphere. For the lithosphere, there are three types we have. For the hydrosphere, we have surface water and groundwater. Surface water again are of two types, that is saline water and fresh water. And atmosphere, there are some of the layers we have, that is troposphere. First layer is troposphere, then stratosphere we have, then mesosphere we have, then thermosphere we have. This thermosphere again are of two types, one is ionosphere and one is exosphere. So these are the some of the components that we have for the environment. Okay, so this is the components of the atmosphere. As I told you, troposphere, first layer is the troposphere, where we are living. Okay, so this troposphere around 10 to 12 kilometer extended. After that we have the stratosphere, where we have the ozone layer. This ozone layer is very important to prevent the UV radiation whatever we are getting from the solar energy. Okay, and it can also prevent some of the harmful disease, due to the UV radiation that can cause to all the living system. And it is up to 50 kilometer, it is extended up to 50 kilometer. Next we have the mesosphere, which is extended up to 90 kilometer. Next we have the thermosphere, and then we have the exosphere. Exosphere, again, in between thermosphere and exosphere we have the ionosphere also. So ionosphere, all types of ions are there. So these are the some of the components of the atmosphere that we have. Next, this is the air pollution. All we know that from industry, from any type of factories, from our activities, we are day by day we are polluting our environment. Air is getting polluted. That is why it's very important to be aware of the air pollution, and for our sustainability we should sort out the problem. Okay, so these are the some of the classifications of the air pollutants that we have. Generally, the air pollutants are of three types. One is based on origin, based on states of matter, and based on presence in environment. So based on origin, we have two types, that is primary pollutant and secondary pollutant. Okay, and based on stress, like gaseous air pollutants and particulate matters, that are the solid materials. Okay, and based on presence in environment, right, like indoor air pollutants and outdoor air pollutants. These are the some of the classifications of the air pollutants that we have. Now, based on sources, we have primary and secondary pollutant. Primary pollutant, like already we have this pollutant in our environment in a while they will be in a limited amount, they are important for us, but while due to our activity, while their amount will increase, and that will cause the air pollution, that is called by the primary pollutant, like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide. All these are the primary pollutant. And secondary pollutant, generally what are the secondary pollutants? Secondary pollutants that is created, absolutely created by us, like sulfuric acid, like pan, okay, like ozone. We don't have to, in troposphere, the ozone in stratosphere is important, but in troposphere it is acting as a pollutant. So while we are doing some of the reactions from the industry, from factory, from nuclear power plant, so all these are emitting from automobile engines. So all these are emitting some of the harmful gases, and which is causing the air pollution, and that is called by the secondary air pollutant. Now we have the next, we have the criteria pollutant. Criteria pollutant, very important. Okay, every year you are frequently asked that what do you mean by criteria pollutant, what are the criteria pollutant. Actually, criteria pollutant are the gases which are having the main contribution towards the air pollution. We have like carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, lead, particulate matter. These are all the 6 criteria pollutants that we have. Okay, now what are the effects? Like carbon monoxide, if we inhale the carbon monoxide, what will happen? The hemoglobin, with the hemoglobin, carbon monoxide will bind up, and thus the oxygen cannot reach to the cell. Okay, so thus the death of the cell will occur. So these are the some of the biochemical harmful effect of carbon monoxide we have. Next, we have the nitrogen. Actually, there are so many types of nitrogen oxide we have, like nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen trioxide, nitrogen pentaoxide. Among them, only nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide are the main harmful gases for us. So the effects are respiratory irritation we can have. We can have the headache, bronchitis we can have. Okay, so these are the some of the effects. Now sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide, generally what will happen, what is the effect? If we have a higher amount of sulfur dioxide in our environment, what will happen? While the raining, while the rain, we have the rainwater, so that water mix with the sulfur dioxide and it can form the sulfuric acid, and that time we have the acid rain. So this is very harmful effect of the increasing amount of the sulfur dioxide. Next, we have the particulate matter. Generally, particulate matter like can be solid. So generally they are forming the aerosol. Aerosol means like dust particles in air. Okay, so this is one type of aerosol. Fume, one type of aerosol. Fog, that is liquid dispersed in the gas medium, one type of aerosol. So these are the some of the particulate matters are very harmful, which is constantly emitting from the automobile engines, and if we inhale that particulate matter, so we can have so many problems, like blocking of the respiratory disease we can have, some of the neural disorder we can have, and ultimately we can have the cancer also. Okay, so these are the some of the detrimental effects. Now lead, generally we are using the tetraethyl lead as an anti-knocking agent into the automobiles, any type of vehicles. Okay, so while whatever the automobile, from the automobile emissions whatever we are getting, so lead can be mixed to the air, and that lead, if we inhale that lead containing air, that is also very harmful for us. Like we can have liver disease, so we can have the kidney damage, we can have mental retardation in the children, we can see. Okay, so these are the some of the biochemical effect of lead. Next is ground level ozone. Mind it, ground level ozone. Ozone is very important for the stratosphere. Okay, because this ozone layer in the stratosphere can prevent the UV radiation, which is harmful for our skin. Okay, now if the ozone, for our activity, ozone is producing in the troposphere also, and which is polluting the air. Okay, so this is the some of the harmful effects also we have if we inhale the ozone containing water. Okay, now our today's topic is, that is greenhouse effect. Now what is greenhouse effect? Generally what will happen, by the solar energy we are getting so many energy. Okay, the sunlight will reflect, sunlight will incident on the earth surface. Okay, and after that it will be reflected. Now what will happen, the in our atmosphere, surroundings atmosphere, some of the gases are there, that is called greenhouse gases. So that gases will absorb the sunlight, while the radiation will reflect it back. That will that solar energy will be trapped by that greenhouse gases, and thus our earth surface will maintain, for our earth surface, the earth, the temperature will be maintained, which is very important for our sustainability. Okay, if we don't have the greenhouse gases, if the solar radiation, whatever reflected back, if that is not trapped into the greenhouse gases, that time the earth, the temperature of the earth surface will be very low, and which is in which we cannot exist. So for our existence we need the greenhouse gases. And importance of greenhouse gas, generally what will happen, whatever solar energy is we are getting, all that solar energy to some extent will be trapped into the gases. Okay, and thus earth's atmosphere will be, the temperature of the earth's surroundings, the earth atmosphere will increase, and which temperature is important for our existence. Okay, so this is actually called the greenhouse effect. Now okay, so the greenhouse effect is a process by which the thermal radiation from planetary surface is absorbed by atmospheric greenhouse gases and is irradiated and is re-radiated in all direction. Since part of this re-radiation is back towards the surface, energy is transferred to the surface and the lower atmosphere. As a result, the temperature there is higher than it would be if direct heating by solar radiation, if we don't have the greenhouse gases. Okay, now sunshine, solar energy enters the earth's atmosphere, passing through the blanket of greenhouse gases and reaches the earth's surface. Okay, land, water, biosphere absorb the sunlight's energy. Once absorbed, this energy is sent back to the reflect back to the atmosphere. Now what will happen, the greenhouse effect, the capacity of certain gases in the atmosphere to trap the heat. I have already told you these greenhouse gases can trap the heat. Okay, whatever heat is emitting reflected back, that heat can be trapped by this greenhouse gases, and thus our atmosphere, the temperature of our atmosphere can be maintained. Okay, thus earth's surface thereby insulating and warming the planet. The greenhouse effect has warmed the earth for over 4 billion years. Now scientists are growing increasingly concerned that human activities may be modifying this natural process with potentially dangerous consequences. But what will happen? Generally, by our activity, the amount of these greenhouse gases are increasing. For that, what will happen? The amount of trapped solar energy, solar radiation will increase. The amount of heat will be, temperature will increase, and which is cause the global warming. Don't worry, we will discuss in detail the cause and effects of this, all these things. Okay, so now the greenhouse effect was discovered by the Joseph Fourier in 1984. First reliably experimented by Tyndall in 1958, and first reported quantitatively by the Arrhenius in 1896. So the greenhouse effect is the contribution of these three scientists. Okay, they have discovered we have this type of effect. Now greenhouse effect generally two types, one is natural, one is man-made. Natural greenhouse effects, and next one is the man-made. Okay, so natural, what are the differences? Natural greenhouse effect, that means created naturally. Okay, and it is created by human. The greenhouse gases in the atmosphere trap the solar radiation to warm the earth. The transparent glass allow the radiation to pass through and trap the radiation by not letting them escape. Actually, what will happen for artificial greenhouse gas, what we are doing the plants, we are keeping the plants into a glass jar, where the solar radiation will enter into the glass jar, but trapped into that jar, it cannot escape, and thus the temperature of the glass jar will increase. Okay, it occupies a large area, it occupies a relatively small area, it creates the heating effect in the whole earth, it creates the heating effect only in a certain specific area, generally for the plants, like uh, if this tropical region, if we are taking this tropical region plant to any region where temperature is very low, so for that region the plants cannot exist, cannot sustain. So for that we have to make a artificial greenhouse, like we have to keep that plant into the glass jar, so that whatever solar radiation will enter into the glass jar, it cannot escape, and the glass jar remaining will be warm, remain hot. Okay, so which temperature, the temperature of which is very important for the sustainability, for the existence of that plant. Okay, so this is the man-made artificial greenhouse effect. Now natural man-made greenhouse effect. Natural greenhouse effect is made from the heat energy radiated from the sun. The greenhouse gases are naturally from presence of the atmosphere. Sunlight goes through the atmosphere, warming the earth in a cycle. The cycle continues through the atmosphere. As the gases absorb, gases trap the energy, solar energy. Okay. Now, man-made activities by humans result in production of greenhouse gases. While the amount of gases increase in the atmosphere, the stability of the greenhouse gases change and causing effect on the whole world. Greenhouse effect caused by the burning of fossil fuel, coal, oil, natural gases, burning of trees, deforestation, all these things. Greenhouse gases trap the heat, making Earth warmer and creating the global problem. Okay, now what will happen for our activity, like from industry emission, from the factory emission, from automobile emission, whatever we have, the continuously they are emitting the greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, all are increasing in our atmosphere. So this increased amount of the greenhouse gases will trap larger amount of heat, and thus our the temperature of our earth surface is increasing day by day, and which is called by the global warming. Okay, now, what are the greenhouse gases we have? That is water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and CFC. CFC means chlorofluorocarbon. So these are the some of the greenhouse gases that we have. Okay, so you can see here the 54%, 6% nitrous oxide, 7% ozone, 12% methane, 21% CFC, and the rest of the percentage is uh, carbon dioxide. Okay, so these are the some of the estimation of the greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. Now water vapor, there is more water in the atmosphere than carbon dioxide, so most of the greenhouse heating of the earth's surface is due to the water vapor. The water vapor content in the atmosphere is constant, which means it hasn't changed. Okay, now carbon dioxide. So our atmosphere contain many natural gases than the ozone. One of these natural gases is carbon dioxide. Okay, so these carbon dioxide help to keep the earth warm by trapping the solar radiation. Now what will happen for our activity, the day by day the carbon emission is increasing, carbon dioxide emission is increasing day by day, like burning of fossil fuels, industrial, from the industrial emissions, from the automobile engines. So that is why what will happen, the day by day the temperature of the earth surface is increasing. Okay, this is the methane that is produced by the human sources, and also we will get the naturally less quantities of methane in the atmosphere than carbon dioxide. Methane molecules are more capable of the absorbing of the energy than the carbon dioxide. Okay, methane produced by bacteria living in swampy areas, where we have the swampy areas, and the bacteria are there, so there we can have the naturally the methane gas will be produced. Okay, so the each molecule can trap 20 times as much heat as a carbon dioxide molecule do. Okay, so this is the methane. Next we have the nitrous oxide. Okay, nitrous oxide generally from the automobile engines we are getting, the day by day the higher amount of nitrous oxide is emitting from the fertilizers. Also we are getting the nitrous oxide. Okay, so all these are causing the higher amount of nitrous oxide in our environment. However, it is 200 to 300 times more effective in trapping the heat than the carbon dioxide. Okay, nitrous oxide, vehicle exhaust, nitrogen based fertilizers, all these are the emitting the nitrous oxide in our environment. Yeah. So now CFC. Generally CFC, where we are using this CFC, that is the compressor. Okay, chlorofluorocarbon, like fridge, in AC we are using this CFC. So what will happen, these chlorofluorocarbons are very harmful for our environment. Okay, what will happen, while the chlorofluorocarbons are present into the environment, it can trap the heat. Now also it can be the cause of the depletion of the ozone layer, that we will discuss in our next class. So CFC is very harmful. Okay, but again CFC is important as the greenhouse effect, greenhouse gases, but day by day the increasing amount of the CFC, that is very harmful for us also. Okay, so aerosol, like where we are getting this CFC, like aerosol sprays, making foam packaging industry. Okay, coolants of the fridge, air, ACs, cleaning solvents. In the cleaning solvents also we have the CFC. Each CFC molecule can trap as much heat as 100,000 of carbon dioxide molecule. So that means the CFC molecule can trap the heat uh, higher than the carbon dioxide molecule. Now ozone exists naturally. Okay, creates the layer protecting Earth from the sun, that is the stratosphere, acts as a greenhouse gas in the In the troposphere, the ozone is acting as the greenhouse gas. Okay, it can trap the heat. So these are the some of the greenhouse gases that we have in our environment. Now, what are the causes of greenhouse effect? Greenhouse gases, the day by day the increased amount of the greenhouse gases, that is causing the greenhouse effect. Now, deforestation, burning of fossil fuels. Okay, increased amount of burning of the fossil fuels, the population growth, increased amount of the population growth, the ozone layer depletion. If the greenhouse gases we have like CFC if we have a higher amount, that will that will cause the ozone layer depletion also, and formation of the clouds. So these are the some of the cause of greenhouse effect. Now, what are the effects of greenhouse effect? Global warming. As I told you, the day by day the increased amount of the temperature of the Earth's surface, that is called by the global warming. So global warming is very harmful for us. Sea level rise, economic impact. The greenhouse effect also having some impact on the economical field, agricultural field. For the aquatic system, it is very harmful. For for the hydrological cycle, this is a natural cycle, and also the greenhouse effect is having the impact on the hydrological cycle, and also it will have some health effect, direct effects of the temperature rise and spread of some of the spread of disease also it will have. So these are the some of the effects of the greenhouse effect that we have. Now we will discuss the global warming. So global warming refers to the increased rising temperature of the surface of the earth, and increase in the concentration of greenhouse gases leads to the increase in the magnitude of the greenhouse effect. So as I told you, if we increase, if our in our atmosphere, if the greenhouse gases are not in the limited amount, if it is the day by day increasing, what will happen? The trapping of the solar radiation, solar energy will be higher. That means the temperature will be higher. So which will enhance the temperature of the Earth's surface, and which is the cause of the global warming. So causes of global warming, some of the causes of the global warming that we have, that is global warming occurs when carbon dioxide and other air pollutants and the greenhouse gases collect in the atmosphere and absorb sunlight and solar radiation that have bounced off the Earth's surface. Normally, this radiation would escape into the space, but these pollutants can absorb the radiation, trap the heat, and cause the planet to get hotter. That's what known as the greenhouse effect. In the United States, the burning of fossil fuel to make the electricity is the largest source of the heat trapping pollution, and producing about 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide every year. You can imagine that 2 billion tons of carbon dioxide every year producing due to the burning of the fossil fuel, and which is very harmful. Okay, the country's second largest source of the carbon pollution is the transportation, which generates about 1.7 billion tons of carbon dioxide emission per year. So it is a huge amount. Okay, So thus the day by day the greenhouse gases are increasing. The amount of greenhouse gases are increasing. Now what are the effects of this global warming, of this greenhouse, if we have higher amount of the greenhouse effect? Actually the melting of the glaciers will take place, the rising of the sea levels will lead to the coastal flooding of our earth surface. Forest, farms and cities will face trouble. Disruption of the habitats such as coral reefs and alpine meadows could drive many plant and animal species to extinction. Allergies, asthma, infectious disease will outbreak, and which is very harmful for us also. So these are the some of the effect of global warming, or if the effect of the greenhouse gases, if we have higher amount of the greenhouse gases. So these are the consequence, some of the consequence you can see. The melting of glaciers, this is the melting of glaciers. Okay, the scarcity of water. So these are the some of the consequence of the greenhouse effect, and as well as the global warming. So you can see the changing of the environment. Okay, so here we have so many green plants, and here for the deforestation the environment is changing. Okay, what is the solution? Now this is very important part. Here we should be, first of all we should be aware of the all these consequence about the greenhouse gases effects and also global warming. The reduce, we have to reduce the use of materials which produce the greenhouse gases. We have to avoid the burning of fossil fuels. Afforestation, that means we have to plant more trees. Okay, we have to use alternative sources of energy, some of the eco-friendly materials we have to use, and we have to recycle the products. Okay, incineration plant should be established, pollution should be, then that time only pollution should be controlled. These are the more solutions that we have, like decrease the demand of electricity, fossil burning of fossil fuel we have to decrease, decrease the demand of distributed use of hydrocarbon fuels. Okay, next produce electricity with very low emissions. That means some of the renewable energy, we have to use the renewable energy without emission as much as possible, using energy storage or smart grid solutions. Okay, so these are the some of the solutions that can be by which the global warming, the greenhouse effect can be controlled. This is the effect of global warming. That means the sea level, rise of the sea level, also it will having some the impact on economic impact, agricultural field, aquatic system. It also affect on the hydrological cycle. So these are the some of the effects of the global warming. Now this is all about of the today's topic. The question is I have given, that is what are the greenhouse gases. So your time starts now. Whatever I have discussed today, you have to just memorize, and then you can get the answer. Yes, your time is over, and the answer is, you are absolutely right. These are the some of the greenhouse gases, that is water vapor, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane and CFC. CFC full form. What is the full form of CFC? That is chlorofluorocarbon. So these are the all greenhouse gases that we have, which is very important. Okay, so this is a recapitulation. So we have discussed about the greenhouse effect, right? We have discussed the global warming, what you mean by global warming, what are the effects and causes of greenhouse effect, and also we have discussed the causes and effects of the global warming also. So this is all about the today's section. Okay, so students, please follow the class regularly, and the assignment I have given, so that assignment you have to submit in time. So thank you students, and see you in the next class.